is the gaming community burnt out? Short answer, no. LethalPrime here, aka your Lethal Primary. Rich from Review Tech USA asked, do you think gamers are just getting tired of gaming in general because the developers can never win, and it seems like the gamers are just complaining no matter what they put out? Now, while you can argue that this is true, you have to bear in mind that we all are humans. You can't exactly please everybody in the same way. But can you really blame the person spending their hard-earned $60, taking their game home, and then putting it in their platform of choice, only to find out that all this innovation they were promised is just stuff from previous generations of other games, or only to find out that what they just bought can't really be played in the way they were promised? Can you really blame a gamer when a game like Watch Dogs is held back for so long, and the reasoning behind it is usually, please don't worry, we're adding finishing touches. Oh, you know that game mode we originally promised you? Well, we thought it was a bit broken, so we're taking extra time to fix it. And then, in reality, the game comes out and it's nothing like what you were promised, or it's nothing like what you thought it was going to be because of marketing. Watch Dogs was a pretty fun game, but when you take into account how long it took to come out, and how the E3 trailers looked, absolutely nothing like what the final product was. You can't blame somebody for complaining when they invested their money into something that was promised to be amazing, but turned out to be mediocre. Destiny, a game that had a $500 million budget. Yes, I said $500 million. Some of you will argue that the developers themselves never said that the $500 million went into the game alone. But if you go back and read some articles, yes it did. In just exactly the same way they said that it was going to be an MMO-styled game. So, we played the beta, and then we thought it was amazing. Then we waited for the final product, and it came out. But in the end, most of our reactions were probably, where the hell did this $500 million budget go? If you can finish the game within 3 days, and about those first 4 hours of the game were just what we already played in the beta. So essentially, we paid $60 to replay what we already played for free, and we saw nothing new that came out of it. Now, I'm sorry, but for those of you who say I'm playing the game wrong because I don't want to grind for 40 hours on end just to get to level 20, be capped, and then have to do special requirements to get to level 26 so that I can play the rest of the game later at an undetermined date, and then have the rest of the game be something Bungie will not reveal to us and tell us what it's going to be about. Meanwhile, those first 20 levels that you already played had no backstory, showed absolutely nothing that could make the game amazing, but you have to go to their website to actually read a story? A story that should have already been in the game in the first place? I have to go to a separate place, like Bungie's website, to read the story of a game I already paid for? Where the hell did those $500 million go if this game is locked at 30 frames per second, and the story is nowhere to be found within the game that I already paid for? Now, you're telling me to go play with my friends. Well, that's all fine and dandy, Bungie, but unfortunately I can't play raids with them because they won't be level 26 by the time they get the game, and I've already grinded enough. DSP said it best, and I really agree with him. This is what mobile games do. You get addicted, and the only way you can continue is to keep grinding, but you can't get the rest of the story unless you keep grinding, and the story is non-existent unless you go to a third party. And then the multiplayer is just Halo. What a facepalm that is. Bungie left Microsoft because they said they didn't want to continue the Halo franchise. And yet, I'm playing Halo with a $500 million budget. And it's at 30 frames per second. Let's move on to something else. The new Grand Theft Auto game was a console exclusive, and now it's coming out to the next generation and PC. The people on PC were calling Grand Theft Auto a joke because it was on consoles only. Now it's coming out for PC, and the same game they called a joke, they're gonna pay $60 for later, because of the marketing of just how much more amazing the game looks on PC. And of course, if you're part of the PC master race, you're gonna eat that shit up and say, hell yeah, this game is now on PC, suck a console whores. The gaming community can't get along when it comes to consoles versus PC, but yet, you can't blame a PC gamer for getting extremely mad if something on a console that can't really do 1080p natively looks way better than on a PC that can blow away that same console. So it's all marketing, whether it's for gaming or whether it's for that miracle cleaning product you bought off an infomercial that had the most amazing marketing ever, knowing full well you're never gonna get off your ass and actually clean your house for that product to work. I'm LethalPrime. If you enjoyed this gameplay commentary, don't forget to leave a like. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. The gameplay which you just saw in the background was that of Warframe on Xbox One. Now, it's not the greatest game ever, but hey, it was free, and it ran at 60 frames per second. Once again, this is LethalPrime, aka your Lethal Primary. Your Lethal Primary means your primary form of entertainment. I'll see you guys next video.